The following episode of the Scary, Strange, and Outright Odd Show is going to be just a little bit different. In this episode, we will be looking at a couple of interesting stories posted on the website Reddit. The following are actually fictional stories, or so we are led to believe. I'm your host, Joseph Jordan, and thank you for listening to this episode of the Scary, Strange, and Outright Odd Show. This first story is called The Prank by Latchkey_49. It was a prank. He was afraid of the girl. Any horror short film with her in it made him cringe or gasp or stand up and walk away. He avoided any regular movie which featured her in the promotions. He was afraid of the girl with panda eyes, long dark hair, and the dirty white nightgown who ends up in your face while the weird violin music plays. The movie ends, the credits roll. The girl terrified him. My mom used to make fun of him. She said, "Don't be such a girl. It's just a movie." Every time that he would rush out of the room when she appeared on the screen. We usually watched the movies together on Saturday nights. That was family time in our house. My mom's boyfriend was a nice guy, but kind of a scaredy cat. This weekend, we were told that we were going to see a Disney animated movie at the theater. He hated those. He decided to stay home as my mom knew that he would. We pretended to leave the house. He was busy editing a music video in his studio upstairs. We snuck back in easily because he was oblivious with his headphones in his ears. My mom and I set up cameras in the kitchen. Mom knew that he would come down for a cold beer eventually. I put on a white nightgown. I put on a stringy black wig. Mom smeared panda shadow around my eyes while assuring me that it would be hilarious. We heard him open the door and walk down the stairs. My mom hid in the dining room. I stood in the kitchen with my head down like she does in the movies. I heard him walk into the kitchen, and he grasped with complete terror. I tried to control my laughter. I felt the sole of his boot kick my forehead. I felt my neck snap. I heard my mother scream. I lie here dying now. I'm sorry. It was just a prank. Well, dang. That was kind of dark. Now on to the next one. It's called Just a Day in the Park. And it was submitted by the FB Guy. It's an overcast day. The park is as busy as ever. My husband, our son, and our daughter go to the park every day before lunch. That way the kids will usually be out of it after lunch, and my husband and I can have a few hours of peace and quiet before he has to go to work. School will start again soon, and he'll go back to his first shift schedule. I'll be all alone again. The other parents avoid us. At the beginning of the summer, they stopped interacting with us. I'm not sure why. Even their kids won't play with my own children. I let it be, though. I have my family, and that's all that matters. The husband and I talk about the latest episode of Big Brother and how he's ready for something other than leftover casserole for dinner. I playfully punch his arm. We both laugh. He asks if I'm ready to be alone. I tell him no, but I'll get used to it. He kisses my forehead, puts his arms around me, and tells me that he's always there. Some of the parents are whispering to one another nearby. I hear them enough to make out what they're saying. She's the sole survivor of that house fire. Husband and 2 kids. Oh my God, that's horrible. She comes here every day talking to herself. I feel bad for her. I want to say something, but it's like, I don't know where to begin. I don't know what they're talking about. My family is right here. That was kind of cool. I personally liked it. Now, this is our last story. The Sound of Silence by Doverhawk. After a lifetime of being deaf, my best friend just received cochlear implants. When he woke up from the surgery, we all stood around him. His wife was the first one to say anything. He heard her voice at once and began to cry. We all took turns speaking, letting him hear our voices and our names, and with each word we said, he became more and more emotional. When we were all finished, silence hung in the room. He looked up at me and asked what that sound was. It took me a moment to understand what he was hearing, but when I understood, I told him he was hearing silence. He shook his head. "This isn't silence," he said slowly, hearing his own voice for the first time. "I've been hearing silence my whole life. This is different." A sound came from just outside the hospital room, and he perked up immediately. "Isn't that silence?" We all exchanged looks of trepidation around the room before I spoke. "No," I said. "That was the sound of someone screaming." Well, if you ask me, those were very well written and very well done stories. What do you, the listener, think about the Reddit stories? Did you like them? Did you not? Thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Scary, Strange, and Outright Odd Show. I'm your host, Joseph Jordan. And remember, the truth is always out there.